Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that the video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic. And maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from. The county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, William Samoei Arap Ruto, the president of the Republic of Kenya, engineered the impeachment of his deputy Rigachagua. And something came out from that impeachment. The dark side of William Ruto, which is ruthlessness. And it's the first time most Kenyans were coming to terms that William Ruto is really a very ruthless politician. Because let's look at it from this perspective. Rigachagua was William Ruto's running mate in the last election. They've hardly served for 2 years. But William Ruto engineered an impeachment motion against him, both in the National Assembly and at the Senate, in a manner that nobody can really describe. In fact, I strongly believe that Rigachagua is yet to accept the fact that William Ruto engineered that impeachment motion against him. William Ruto appointed or nominated Rigachagua to be his deputy for two main reasons. Number one, William Ruto wanted to deal with Uhuru Kenyatta. He wanted someone who could deal with Uhuru Kenyatta. And the person who could do that was none other than Rigachagua.
Uhuru Kenyatta amerogwa, anapigana na watu yake. Wala tulimsaidia William Ruto. Bila William Ruto, Uhuru Kenyatta hangekuwa rais wa Kenya. Kweli ama uongo? Amerogwa na hii mzee wa kitendawili, amegeuka watu yake. Mimi Rigachagua ndio nilipatiwa Uhuru Kenyatta na Moi mwaka wa 2002. Hakuna kitu alijua. Nilimtoa kwa baa, alikuwa mlevi. Nikamuuta, nikamsaidia, nikamfanya akakuwa rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Amerogwa na Raila, amenigeuka. Amenihangaisha. Amenitafutia makesi ya uongo. Ameninyang'anya pesa yangu. Amefunga kampuni zangu zote. Amefuta watoto yangu kazi. Amefunga kampuni ya bibi yangu. Rais, juzi umekuwa Nakuru ukasema ya kwamba ati Rigachagua, Dende Nyoro, Kimani Ichung'wa na Moses Kuria ati watajua wewe ndio rais ya Kenya. Ile mambo umetufanyia Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, tunakuomba tafadhali rais, usiue mimi vile baba yako aliua JM Kariuki. Ninakuomba rais, nakuomba. Mimi niko na bibi, mimi niko na watoto, tafadhali usiniue. Umenitesa ya kutosha Rais Uhuru Kenyatta.
And that's why William Ruto opted for Gachagua against even the advice from the members of parliament from the mountain. What came out from that alone is just William Ruto's ruthlessness. We went to the elections. They won. They were declared the president. He was sworn in. After being sworn in, William Ruto's ruthlessness emerged again when he decided to focus his attention on revenging against Uhuru Kenyatta. How? William Ruto forcefully tried to take control of Jubilee Party. As we speak today, we are not even sure between Jeremiah Kioni, Kanini Kega, who is the Secretary General of Jubilee Party. We are not even sure between Sabina Chege and Uhuru Kenyatta, who is Jubilee Party leader. Look at it from this perspective. Sabina Chege being appointed Jubilee Party leader to compete against Uhuru Kenyatta. That is ruthlessness. So if you add to what we witnessed, it means William Ruto is applying that ruthless strategy. Let us move from there. Let us go to the Azimio protest. What happened during that time? The kind of force we witnessed. William Ruto would always fly out of the country, but the kind of force which would be meted on Azimio supporters shocked the entire world. Then we came to the Gen Z protest. Again, William Ruto exerted the same ruthlessness.
You've seen the agitation from young people and the recent protests, not the very most pleasing situation any president or any leader would obviously want. And young people are clearly not happy with the situation as well. And of course, over 20 people died, 300 more injured. You promised to give these families some explanation. You also said that you will support the injured and that a mechanism is there to hold the police to account. How far have you gone in realizing these?
There is a lot of progress that has been made. In fact, part of the launch of the resilience program that I launched is part of responding to some of the issues that have been raised about jobs. The reason why I'm in Germany is because of the same reasons around jobs for our young people. The same way we have a housing program responding to jobs for our young people. The same reason why we are doing the digital ecosystem, because we are responding to jobs. Because ultimately,
let's go back to the protests before we come back to the jobs, Mr. President.
The protests were about opportunities. That's why I'm saying.
But they also did not want tax hikes, and which also bring me back to the question of debt. How do you in fact sustain the debts? But you said there are alternatives. Yeah. But then you made a promise in your apology on X to these young people that you would ensure that it doesn't happen again, and these families will be given an explanation.
So when the impeachment of Rigachagua came, or when it started, most people thought that at some point, William Ruto was going to cool down a bit. Indeed, initially when it hit up, I think by that time William Ruto had not firmed up all his strategies. He had to cool down the MPs. And Rigachagua thought that he was safe. But when William Ruto came for the head of Rigachagua, he got it. So in this video, I want us to look at the coded message which William Ruto is actually trying to send to Kenyans through the ruthless impeachment of Rigachagua. But before I do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. The fact that William Ruto used ruthless strategy, it means he was sending a coded message to Kenyans. And for me, I'm coming to the following 4 conclusions. Number 1, William Ruto was sending a message to his allies, that nobody can stand on his way and that he can do anything to anybody. Let me ask you this question. If William Ruto could forcefully, in a manner he did, impeach Rigachagua, is there anything that can stop William Ruto from doing the same? Let me just use this example. Tukimani Shungwa. In fact, even the leaders within UDA party themselves were surprised at the ruthlessness in which William Ruto was taking this matter. I think on this platform, I once opined that I was in contact. I spoke with one of the MPs. He told me that he received 10 missed calls from William Ruto a night to the voting. Ruto called him because for him, he had decided that he was going to vote no. In the morning, he prepared, went to the National Assembly. Oscar Sudi comes, talking to someone, hands over the phone to him. The instruction is simple. Remove this guy. Tabitha Karanja, the Nakuru senator herself, confessed in an interview in Inoro the other day that Ruto invited each one of them for a meeting. For her, she met Ruto for 2 good hours. The agenda was the impeachment of Rigachagua. The other day I was reading on the papers how the Nyeri senator, Rigachagua's own senator, was confused. He was being blackmailed. As we speak, members of parliament from the mountain cannot go to the ground because the ground is hostile for them. Even during the public participation, they could not go to the ground. Most of them would have absconded. But the instruction was clear: ensure Rigachagua is out. So the ruthlessness is actually a message to them. It is a message to someone like Ndindi Nyoro that you joke, utaenda. It's a message to someone like, let's say, Kimani Ichung'wah, you joke, utaenda. And I can tell you, none of William Ruto's allies will joke around after the impeachment of Rigachagua. Because if the president can impeach his deputy like that, whose wife or whose spouse is a pastor, you're joking with that man. So that's number one. He's sending a message to his allies. Number two, William Ruto is also telling Kenyans that for him, the end justifies the means. In fact, I've always told you on this platform that the easiest president to remove from office through the ballot is William Ruto. That is, if elections were to be free and fair, it's going to be very easy to remove William Ruto. But how? With this kind of ruthlessness. As we speak, IBC is not in office. It's by design, and there's nothing you can do about it. At the right time for him, he will start the process. I've seen a statement by the US Embassy talking, I think the ambassador met with the IBC. I think there's something they know which we might not know. So the end justifies the means. Members of parliament voted in a record time. Senators, all of them were at the Senate. 67 of them. None was sick, none was absent. All of them. Ruthlessness. By the time members of parliament voted, pap, Gazette notice was up. At the Senate, the speaker had strict instructions that this process must end at this time. Remember, they have timelines, yes? From the time Rigathi was impeached, there was a window, I think, of 60 days for the deputy to be appointed. The next day, in fact, according to William Ruto, the plan was to swear in Kindiki during Mashujaa Day. But I think the only place he did not take note of was the judiciary. That's why, for the first time, Philomena Mwilu, the Deputy Chief Justice, convened a panel of 3 judges on a Saturday. Was it on a Sunday or a Saturday? So, the end justifies the means. And that's why the question which Kenyans are still asking, who can remove William Ruto from office now that he has Raila Odinga on his side? Number 3, William Ruto is also communicating his intentions. Mapema is telling everybody that this is the thing. See, that's the presidency. I want it. I'm going for it. I want to see who's going to try and block me. Gen Z protest was a typical example. They were trying to stop Ruto. How many young people are yet to be found today? How many? Several. How many were maimed as we speak? How many were buried? Ruthlessness, my friend. And it's a strategy. And lastly, from the impeachment of Rigachagua, William Ruto is also communicating something, which I've been saying on this platform, that politics is about interest. You serve my interest, I'm with you. You don't serve my interest, you leave. The biggest problem Raila Odinga has always faced is that Raila Odinga doesn't have that decisive decision. He can't really decide. That's why sometimes you find Raila Odinga has people who are moles, known to be saboteurs in his team, but the best thing he can do is just to leave them, create a new structure. For Ruto, you go. So for me, the strategy of ruthlessness, which came out from William Ruto's impeachment of Rigachagua, in my view, is a strategy that can work in favor of William Ruto, but at the same time, it can also backfire. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think, but that's my take. Until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.